Hi,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm okay today. Yourself?
I'm good. I'm just trying to get my camera at the right angle.
That's fair. I feel a little out of sorts.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's been kind of a weird day.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's just been kind of not gotten anything done, just kind of being lazy.
I think you're allowed.
Thanks.
I get back.
How's your vacation been?
Extremely lazy.
Oh, extremely, huh?
Yes. Like, maybe embarrassingly so. But that's
Embarrassingly so?
what's that?
Embarrassingly so, huh?
Yeah. Like, I
Oh,
should be doing something, but I don't want
fair enough, fair enough.
to.
For some reason, it's not giving me this live that we're actually live on. On the computer. Oh, hey, hold on a second. Thank you so much. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, someone saying.
Thank you. I'll wrap it in a little bit, okay? Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Sorry, that was my littlest.
Yeah.
He got me something at Costco. So
Oh.
yeah, I can't it's not showing me that we're live right now.
I mean, we are. I've got at least one person in here.
I don't know why I can't. I legitimately can't see our live stream. I'm like refreshing it too. Yeah, it shows me 3 days old on the lives. So I might not be able to see the post then.
Yeah. Oh, well, see. Let me see.
Sorry about that.
No, that is weird. We'll see if I mean, there's at least one person in here. We'll see if others join up, and it is kind of a weird time during the day. I think it's a little earlier. It's a Monday, so I was kind of thinking, there might not be quite the turnout.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hard to say.
That's fair.
Which I
I was
mean, it's fun to have people in there, but it's also fun just to be able to have this dedicated time to sit down, just start doodling and chit chat. So it's all
that,
right.
that's true. No, you're right. I just usually it's like because I'm subscribed to the channel. Usually it comes up and says, "Oh, you're live with Rob Norton,"
Yeah.
and it's not saying that.
And you're trying to find it on your laptop.
Yeah,
What happens if you just go to my YouTube channel or something like that? Does it not, or like looking at your subscriptions, will it not say like? Because usually when you're subscribed to somebody, it'll say like so and so is live right now.
that's usually what happens. Okay,
Oh,
now it's just popped up on a. It just popped up for me just now. It was just slow, I guess.
it,
But otherwise, I can't see comments. So I was like, no. Yeah, it's just been like really weird today. I just feel like I also haven't got anything done. Embarrassingly.
this is the girl 9 months pregnant, and she's like, I should be doing all kinds of stuff.
I should be, but what are you drawing here?
Just another random I should be, like I've said all the last couple times. I've got pages I should be working on the book, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything ready to go. And I have this just idea in my head of this thing I wanted to do.
Oh, okay. Saw that you did a video of just kind of more like art tips.
Yep, where I started and I finished this one.
Oh yeah, that looks really good. I did see that one.
Yeah, I mentioned you several times because I was like, well, Jessica's the one who kind of told me I should start doing this stuff, and she suggested I do art kind of demo stuff, and I kind of intended to do more, and I just haven't. But
No, I think that's sweet. I haven't watched it yet, but I will.
nah.
I will eventually.
I'm
I'm
just
so behind in all my YouTube stuff. I don't know if anybody knows who Watcher is. We are Watcher, but they're the BuzzFeed guys that left BuzzFeed, and I'm like hardcore into ghosts and um true crime and stuff. And they had a channel I really really liked on BuzzFeed Unsolved, and then they left and did their own thing. And I'm so behind on their channel too.
and what is it that they kind of do? Or
Well, originally, on BuzzFeed, they did BuzzFeed Unsolved, where they covered unsolved true crime and then also unsolved paranormal activity.
oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, and but they weren't sensational. You know those shows where it's like, oh, I just saw a, you know, oh, was that a, light flash by, or, I don't know, where I don't always believe it. They go in and they never find anything. But I don't feel like it's sensationalized. That's what I liked about it.
No, that's fair. I'd rather investigate something and just go look and see it rather than like making up some fake nonsense that I know is fake. Because if I want to watch fake stuff, I'll
Mm,
watch a movie.
exactly. Exactly. So, anyway, I was really into their stuff too, and I've really slacked on watching their channels. So need to get together.
Well, it's pretty shameful thing to be behind on YouTube stuff. I mean, geez,
I know,
you
right?
just ashamed of yourself.
I know. Oh boy. So do you have any like big plans while you're on vacation?
No, no, not at all.
Oh.
Nope. I mean, I had those things that I did that last weekend and a lot of, traveling and type of stuff. But I'm just staying in. It's the last time I'm going to have a vacation off for the next 6 to 7 months. So I'm just going to take it easy at home. Just relax. Just enjoy the time off. Try to do as much drawing as I can on the comic while I've got the time to.
Dedicate to it?
Yeah, since I don't have to worry about doing anything else. I am going on Wednesday. Have you seen the movie The Abyss by James Cameron from like late 80s?
It's not it's an actual movie, or is it a like kind of a
No,
documentary?
it's a movie. It's not one of
Oh,
his like water Titanic things.
oh, okay. So no, I haven't
It,
then.
it is underwater. Um, I mean, do you like James Cameron's movies?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Terminator and Aliens and True Lies. The Abyss is one of the ones that kind of gets forgotten about in a way. It's
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
really,
not one that's common, I don't think.
it's very good. But it's like I don't know, 30th anniversary of it or something like that. And they're re-releasing it like a high resolution 4K remastered version in the theaters for like one night. And my brother, my older brother, him and his wife got tickets and they messaged me like, "Hey, we're buying tickets. Would you want to come?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I do." So I'm gonna go see that on Wednesday. So
That'll be
that's the
fun.
extent of plans.
Yeah, someone saying says it's a great movie.
Yeah, yeah, it's really good. I don't think you can find it on any streaming platforms. There's some kind of issue with like the rights on it or something like that, and um, I don't know. I don't think it's anywhere you can find
Oh, really?
stream it, and unless like to pay for it uniquely, not like any streaming service that you have right now. It's not going to be on there, but you might find it somewhere you could buy it, like a digital version of it. But it's really good. I highly recommend it.
Maybe I'll watch that. I mean, I can see if I can. I'm the worst. I don't mind buying movies, or I rent them all the time off streaming services. Someone will be like, "Oh, you could have just downloaded this and watched it for free," and I'm like, "Nah."
Yeah, nah, I'm good.
But I had to check it out.
Yeah, it's great. Kind of a real world kind of action sci-fi ish. It kind of goes in places. Honestly, this is the thing. James Cameron's like back in the day. He's my favorite filmmaker because he's so good at it. Before he got stuck on this Avatar nonsense, you know, um,
Are you not an Avatar fan?
like they're fine. I saw the first one in the theater was visually like one of my the most probably to this day the most visually stunning movie I've ever seen, ever, just because of the 3D aspect of it.
Mm,
Like wild, and so that's the main reason I was interested in the most recent one. And again, visually unbelievable, but story wise, it's like okay, it's fine. But James Cameron, when he was, you know, he does the Terminator, then he does Aliens, then he does Abyss, then he does Terminator 2, he does True Lies. These are like some of the best action movies ever. And I wish to God that he would go back and make these action movies and get his head out of. I'm sick of Thundercat Smurf Island. Like I don't care, and I don't need to see more movies of these guys, these big blue kitty cats.
I
So
actually have the unpopular opinion that I didn't think Avatar was that good.
you you what? I'm sorry.
I have the unpopular opinion that I didn't even like Avatar at all.
Oh, you did
Except
not.
except for I did think it looked cool.
Oh yeah. Oh, it looks amazing. There's nothing really unique about it.
I was like, it's just Pocahontas. Like that's the story.
It's
Like,
Pocahontas and Dances with Wolves and
yeah, that's kind of how I felt. But I actually grew up with the gal who was married to one of the gentlemen on the team who did the special effects for Avatar.
oh wow.
Yeah, and I mean he played basketball with my dad, and he would just talk about just how grueling it was putting that movie together. The first one. I
Oh,
don't know if he did the second one or not.
that's
But yes, I'm kind of the same way. Like I like a lot of his other stuff. Um, but I wasn't as impressed with Avatar as far as like a story goes and the writing.
yeah. It's just you knew exactly where it was going to go. You
Yeah.
just for the visuals and the excitement of it. And that's it works, and it's the highest grossing movie of all time. And then that sequel was hugely successful in an era when there's no successful movies. You know what I mean? People went and saw it. But again, I don't know if people are going to go see three more of them. But he's pretty dedicated to this concept. So,
I didn't even know that.
oh yeah, he's
Oh,
got three more or something to that effect planned.
three? What else can you do with it? I didn't even see this last one. My kids went and saw it in theaters, but I
Do you
didn't.
not do you not have Disney Plus?
Oh, I see that it's on there. I
Oh,
never want to watch it.
I
Like
mean,
I
again,
just
it's visually incredible, and I think it's, it's fun to see, like, the once, but
I'm first. I really am. My sons are like, "It's so great, mom. Like, why do you feel this way?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just don't think it's that." And I think it's maybe because I think that he has done so much better stuff. I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
But someone saying says Prime Video has The Abyss on it. He thinks
Well, there you go.
I might have to check that out then
Expect a full report tomorrow.
tomorrow. Oh my gosh. Okay, fine.
I
One thing
can't.
I do is watch a lot of watch a lot of TV because I don't have to. I can do other things, and my kids can get in my face and talk to me on
Yeah.
like art and reading, and so you might get a full report tomorrow.
Yeah. No, it's super good. It'll, again, I think it'll, without telling you anything about it, I think it goes into places that you will not expect. You're like, wait, what? This is. It kind of feels like it's one way, but then it kind of does these other things, and that's what I like about it. So
Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Have to check it out. Daniel is on.
yeah,
Hello.
Mooper San.
Hello, Mooper-san.
Mooper San is on.
You
Right.
got really clever there, didn't you?
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't act like you didn't. Weren't jealous that you didn't think of it first.
You got me on that one.
Uh,
Uh, on the little kid on my painting, yeah, this is supposed to be my niece, so I tried to find something a little sassy because that's how she is. Can you guys hear my fan going?
I don't hear anything.
Okay. It sounds really loud to me, and it feels like rocking a little bit, so it sounds like it's gonna come off the ceiling.
A fan, like a ceiling fan?
Yeah,
All right. I'm like, what do you have a fan going for? It's cold.
not in this room. And I'm fat, remember?
Jesus God. The last thing you are is fat.
I am, I promise you.
No, you're not. You're pregnant. And there's a world of difference.
Well, you know.
Just because you're big in the belly is different when you got a big old baby in there and the rest of you looks exactly the way it always has before. So I take issue.
See, I don't know if that's true or not, but I will take that as a compliment and just leave it at that.
Yeah, better.
Um, so you've been wanting to do this particular sketch that you're doing right now, like you're saying.
Sort of. It's just an idea I had for something to just do for just fun.
Okay.
It's kind of like, remember when I was doing this one and I was like, it's kind of an homage to another cover and I was waiting for somebody else to see if they could recognize it.
Oh, is
Like,
this the same thing?
it's kind of the same thing. So I'm curious if anyone will recognize the basic pose. Um,
Mm.
hey, Mooperson, he says he enjoyed the latest Brigade coverage, that issue that I did where it was a redraw of an old book, and we were trying to decide if the redraw 30 years later was any better, and it sort of was.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was a fun one to talk about.
Uh, Oh, I see someone saying says no. Oh, he can't hear my fan, but he also has the news on. He's saying.
Yeah.
I was like, what is?
I crossed over to 1,440 subscribers today.
Wow.
Uh, and it's
That's
weird to think coming up in March will be 1 year that I've been doing this, which does not feel like it's been that long.
that is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, March is when I started.
And you were so nonchalant about it. It was
I
like,
know. Well, I'm. I didn't think it would get any traction. How the hell could I know? I was all right. Whatever. Let's just
yeah,
see if I can get 3 people to be interested. We'll see.
that's awesome though. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'll have to think of something interesting for like the 1 year.
Hmm.
Because there was a time when I was kind of like trying to do like, hey, I got 100 subscribers, so here's a unique thing that I did, or here's 200 subscribers, but it happens too quickly. You know, I thought it would take months to get 100, and now it takes like, I don't know, not that long. So I'm like, all right,
Right.
I gotta stop. Like every 100 subscribers, we'll do some kind of like shout out celebration thing. Now it's like, nah, we'll
I
just
ain't got
we'll,
time for that. Well, aren't you Mr. Popular?
no. I'll be Mr. Popular when I can make some money at this.
Hey, you might.
I mean, who knows? But
Oh boy.
are your kids excited to know that they got another one on the way? Especially knowing that's a girl. I assume you've told them to
Oh
chance.
yeah.
It's not one of
Um
the secrets.
I think they're pretty excited. It's it's been a lot, I think, on them because I can't, especially this past like 4 weeks, I've slowed down a lot.
No.
I think that ends up being kind of frustrating, especially to my, you know, older ones. Um, but I think they're excited. Um, my eldest, my daughter, she wanted a sister, not another brother. So that worked out.
How old is she?
She's 12.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that she's that old. But, and then, my other two, they were the two oldest boys, they were pretty excited as well.
Yeah.
Which is funny because when I had my 2-year-old that I have now, when I told them that I was pregnant with him, my oldest son was really excited. He was very excited. But then my youngest son at the time, he was not excited at all. He's like, I don't think we should have more kids. Too many children.
Yeah, mom, slow down.
I'm like, okay, all right then. But yeah,
I just I was just
yeah.
gonna I just watched this video just before we got started where this little boy, 3 years old, I guess, and his parents just had a baby, so it's like brand new, wrapped up in the like little hospital wrap, and the little
Mhm.
on its head, a day old or something like that. So he's wrapped up like a little burrito, and they hand it to this little boy, and they're like, "This is your new little," I can't remember, sister, yeah, sister. And he's just looking at it, and he's kind of like happy, but he can tell he's confused, and because it's wrapped up, all you can see is its face. He's like,
Oh, it's swaddled.
he doesn't have any arms. He was like
Oh
looking.
my gosh.
He was confused. He didn't understand. And they're like, no, she's just got a blanket on. He's just like, this is my sister. Where's her arms? That was really funny.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious.
Super adorable.
Just so confused by that swaddling job. That's hilarious. It's a very good question, though.
Yeah, he's like, look, I don't know how to put this, mom and dad. You did something wrong. Where?
You forgot to put the arms on it.
Right?
That's so funny.
Like, do you get a warranty on this thing? Because,
So when my eldest son was born, my littlest brother was I'm trying to see how old would he have been? 11 maybe 11. And my husband, because we lived out there by them in Indiana at the time, and my husband would tell him that he wasn't sure about whether or not we are going to keep the baby or not
oh, shit.
because he's like, oh, I don't know, he cries a lot. And my brother was like, yeah, he's a baby. And he's like, I don't know, I think we're going to send him back to the baby factory and maybe try to get a different one.
Wow.
And my brother, like, legitimately believed him, and it actually bothered him for a long time. And
Oh,
I was like, "He's just kidding. There is no baby factory. We're keeping our baby. Mitchell's gonna stay."
it's kind of
But
cute.
yeah, he just was like, are you serious right now? You're gonna get rid of my nephew?" It's funny times. Now I think about it, my brother's 22 and in nursing school and completely different than he used to be. It's kind of crazy to me that it was that long ago.
Yeah.
And your kids are like the same age as 2 boys. I had
Yeah.
2 older boys.
Oh, my brother decided to show up. Boo, get off the internet, he says.
Wow, rude.
Right?
Rude much?
Johnny, you got to come over. We got to do some more we got to do some more videos, man. I'm off all this week. Let's get together. They're fun. It's crazy cuz him and I will get together and, want to record some videos, but, he's married and got a 1-year-old kid. So there's a little bit of a time consideration to factor in, obviously.
Yeah.
We get together, we talk, we chat, we get set up, and then you record a couple, and they take, it's a half hour, an hour, um, depending. And it's like suddenly his time's gone. He was like, you know what, I got to get. I told them the missus I wouldn't be longer than this amount of time. So, John, John says only one of us has to get off the internet. So, how about that, Jess? What if I got off the internet and you had to stay and like chit chat up everybody?
I mean, I guess I could. I feel like I wouldn't have very, great things to say.
I don't know. You just put it out there, like, all right, let's do a Q&A. Ask me questions.
That's true. We could do that. I actually thought about us doing that for one of ours. It's just like you could ask anything you want.
And we'll filter out the weird ones. Or maybe we'll only answer the weird ones, but
I
it'll
was
be
like, I actually don't. That's not how it works. You gotta answer even the weird ones. So I mean,
all right. That's fair. I like it. That's an idea.
you know, gotta do it.
I like your commitment to these things.
What do you mean?
You encouraged heavily drunken Deadpool review, so I don't know. I should.
That was a great one, though.
Was
I'd
it?
also like to ask you, does this look like a dinosaur or a horse that I am painting right now?
John says.
Yeah, he's saying a lot of things.
He says, I keep telling you, you should do a live recording where you are reviewing books and allow the viewers to suggest what you are reviewing. And they can ask
Mm.
questions, comment during the review. What do you mean you keep telling me, you fucking twat? You've never said that to me.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Calm down.
He's never suggested that to me. I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but I'm like, you never.
Things just got real up in here.
But I guess he's
God,
suggesting,
I'm
like,
as he says.
you have not done no damn thing multiple times. You're a damn liar. But I guess you were probably drunk. I mean, can't.
Easy to say though. Easy to
Right.
say the whole, oh, you were drunk, so you don't recall.
Well, hell, the only time I've ever been drunk around him in recent years was that one time, and pretty much the entire situation is on record. So
Have to go back and check and see if he
yeah,
suggests.
right.
There's ways to prove this. You have a bad memory, sir.
That's horse shit. He's a liar.
Oh my gosh. Love it. This thing is hilarious to me.
But that's an interesting idea. Just do a live like this, and then review a book, and then have people could be chiming in on it at the same time.
Yeah.
That's.
I actually am surprised you haven't done that before.
Or are you going to tell me that you've suggested it multiple times too?
No, I haven't ever suggested it, but I am surprised that you haven't.
I don't know. I just.
Because I've seen other people do stuff like that. But I get why it's nice to record it ahead of time. But no, I've never suggested it. I'm not going to try to pretend.
You're not going to be a liar like John.
I'm not saying he's a liar. I don't know. I was not there. I cannot confirm nor deny whether or not John is a liar or not.
Liar.
Oh my gosh. What color to make this unicorn horn?
Unicorn dinosaur.
Unicorn dinosaur. So did everybody hear that they're supposed to be trying to figure out what cover you're doing? Oh, here's Daniel actually. I think he's guessing.
There he is.
Wow, good work.
He's exactly right.
That's impressive. You people know your stuff.
He Googled it probably. Everyone's a lying some bitch. I'm just kidding. I don't know. But
Oh my gosh, what is the deal today? This is what happens, John, when you log on and you start commenting. It gets Rob all riled up.
Rob gets feisty.
Yeah. Can I make the unicorn a robot unicorn? Truthfully, my niece would probably love that. And I might have to do that on a different one because she probably would. I don't know if her mom would appreciate it. We're already doing this dinosaur, which her mom was like, wanted a different type of dinosaur. And my niece said, no, it needs to at least be showing its teeth and be pink. So,
Show me the pink.
mm-hmm.
That's a website too.
Hmm?
That's the name of a website too.
Oh, gosh. You would know that.
Wait a minute. I just heard somebody talk about it.
You heard somebody talk about it, please. You've been there.
I heard two people. We were at work, and two other people were having a conversation. And this one guy, he's just funny, and this other person's like, "Hey, what's that website we were talking?" It was a work related thing, but he's
Oh,
like, he made some crack about. They're like, "What was that website you were talking about?" And he's like, "Bibleverses.com." And he's like, "No, dummy, that other one, the interesting one." He's like, "Show me the pink.com." I just started laughing. Oh God, it was super funny.
okay. That actually happened
Yes.
to my husband.
Oh,
His buddy told him to check out a website that was supposedly
oh,
for I can't remember if it was for builds for WoW characters or what, but it was wowomg.com. And I can just tell you right now, that was not what it was. He got him really good with that one.
nice.
It might have been a male appendage swinging in a circle over and over again to a song, and that was the whole entire website.
All right. What's the website again?
Oh my gosh.
That's
Oh,
hilarious.
just hit my own screen here.
So Daniel Goodwin, you did kind of Google it.
But he said he already had figured it out.
He kind of like, because it is another Liefeld kind of thing, which I know people keep calling me out like, dude, you rip on him, but then you're like, draw these homages to or whatever to his stuff. I'm like, yeah, I know. He does have some legitimate talents, guys. It is there. And sometimes his layouts are it.
Yeah, that's what you were saying the last time. You said you thought he had some dynamic. Oh my goodness. I keep hitting because this brush is super long. So I keep hitting my phone. Sorry. But you were saying he has some dynamic poses. And
Hey, Chuck Gibson, good to see you, man. He says, I think it's totally appropriate to swipe Liefeld. Awesome. Good to see you, sir.
I mean, it looks really cool for what it's worth.
Well, that encapsulates what Liefeld does good is, you know, it may not be technically proficient, but it can look cool. It can. Doesn't mean it always does, but it can. He is popular, or he did rise to popularity for a reason.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And I was 100% on board with it as a kid.
When did you change your mind?
Just, I don't know.
I don't know why your voice there. Just cry. Just, I
Got
don't
so dejected suddenly. I'm like, ugh.
know. I don't know why that made me laugh so hard, but it did.
I'm glad you're laughing at my emotional pain.
Was it painful for you when
All this time, I've been going through such pain and personal anguish.
oh
So
god.
hell.
Oh my gosh. Let's not get dramatic with it here.
Oh my God, Chuck. Chuck says he, meaning me, learned how to draw. Then Liefeld lost its appeal. That's how it works. Oh my God, that's like the perfect encapsulation of the whole thing. It's like as a kid, you see his work, and you're like, I could do that. That looks that's doable. I could do that. Then you go off and learn to draw, and you're like, wait a minute, I put in
This
all time and
doesn't
effort to learn
right.
to do a certain thing a certain way, and he doesn't do it at all. Why is he getting away with it? What the hell?
That's fair. That's fair. That makes sense to me. Makes perfect sense to me.
Like, and some of the God, I can't get this figure right. I'm really having a struggle with this body here, but I just got to erase it. I was gonna say I did a video on. Let me grab this book behind me. Like he hired a whole bunch of artists that got their careers going and started, and or at least gave them a super boost, even if they were drawing to start. But
Mm-hmm.
right here by this artist,
Oh
he
yeah.
was just amongst the worst artists at the time. And he literally said, like, I even messaged him once a couple of years ago. I'm like, what happened? How did you change? And he literally said, this artist, Dan Panosian, he's like, I went and I learned how to draw. Like, he went and taught himself how to draw, whether he went to school or training or whatever he did. And now he can draw stuff like this.
I remember you talking about this with him.
Yeah, he actually commented on the video that I put up, and he gave me props for like, hey, he's like, hey, thanks for doing that. And I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome. That's amazing. But he's so good. But if you would see this and compare it to the stuff he used to do 30 years ago, you'd be like, it's not the same guy at all. So good. Let's see. Yeah, Chuck. He's like Dan Panosian, my man. Like he seems like a legit guy, and his work is so good. Like it's unbelievable
Mm-hmm.
what what he's become. I wish I don't know. I wish he could get some big high profile gig that shouts him out the way he kind of deserves. Let's see. Chuck says Liefeld could have been really good if he hadn't been so successful so early. Yeah, you stopped trying when you hit the sweet spot. Why would you change further when it's working? Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. He's like, what I'm doing works, so I'm just going to keep doing that. But Dan Panosian just it's just so good. And I like that if I understand him correctly, like he still draws his line work on paper, like traditional, analog or whatever you want to say, rather than digital. And
Mm,
I like that. Again, not that anything's wrong with digital. I'm not saying that, but it's just another guy that likes to do this stuff by hand.
right.
Uh,
Yeah, he's that's incredible. I
yeah,
actually remember this book.
yeah. This is one of my favorite books. I was so glad to get this one. So worth it. Yeah, Muprasani saying, yeah, Panosian was horrible. Now he's he's super amazing. It's so true. I mean,
Just
when I say he was horrible, it was more like he was no better or worse than any of the other lesser guys that started out at those studios. That I felt hired on a whole bunch of people, but to his credit, he gave me the opportunity to draw books and do some fun stuff, and most of them all just progressed and became really talented, amazing artists. And it's you know, I got to give Liefeld credit for, giving these people that opportunity.
Mhm.
It ain't no small thing.
That's true. No, that's awesome. It's just goes to show that no matter where you are or what stage you are in life, you can always improve.
It's true. Not everybody can be a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere.
Who said that?
Does it sound vaguely familiar?
It does, but now I have no clue, and now it's gonna kill me until you tell me.
Don't worry. Somebody will tell us in the comments. Or at least somebody better. Once you hear it, you're gonna like, oh right. That's
Where the heck is that from? Ah, this is driving me nuts. It's weird because I feel like I just heard it not that long ago.
it wouldn't be surprising if you have kids, if that's which I obviously you do, but
Not everybody. Oh my gosh, where did that come from? Oh my gosh, now I can't even focus on what I'm doing.
surprised no one's chimed in with that. The quote again was, not everyone can be a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere.
Damn it. Where the fuck is that from?
Like I'm not
I,
intentionally trying to hide it from you, although it is kind of funny to like not sit there wait,
oh, that is kind of funny.
you're like you fucker. Um all right. Um what if I told you like D-Man, all right, party started. D-Man is here.
Oh,
Oh,
hello.
what if I told you that quote came from an animated movie?
I know it does.
Okay.
That's the problem is I know that it does. I can almost see it, but I can't.
Was it a human that said it?
Was it a human that said it?
I'm trying
That's
to
now
trying
you're
to
confusing me.
jog you.
Was it a human? Oh my gosh, I can't. I can't. I want to say the Robinsons, but I don't think that's it.
That is
But
incorrect.
what is it from? Ugh.
I'll show you a picture of
How
the
old is
character that said it.
someone saying says he missed the quote?
The quote is, not everyone can be a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere. It's bugging her because she's like, I know that, but what is it?
I feel like I just heard it too. That's what's made me crazy. I'm like, what were they watching? Someone saying just gonna Google it.
Son of a bitch. Don't Google it. If you Google it, that's fine, but don't shout it like if you know off the top of your head. Oh, that's fun.
Can't Google it because my phone's in use.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this
All
is
right.
driving me nuts. Oh my gosh. Ratatouille?
Yeah.
Damn it, we did just watch that not that long ago.
Do you remember the line now? Or like the context?
That's why you said it a human say it. Oh my gosh. I don't remember the exact moment, but I can hear it in my head now.
Was at the end when they it was revealed
Writing
that
the review.
the rat is the one who's doing the cooking and the the villain of the piece, who wasn't really a villain, but he was kind of the antagonist for a minute, and
Mhm.
kind of reevaluate his assertions or assumptions that
Not everyone can cook.
everyone can cook. And they're like, no, not exactly.
Yeah.
Which is why it was, they kind of revised it, that Anton Ego is the character who was like, he's like, yeah, I don't believe what the chef who had died, like, he's like, anyone can cook. He's like, no, that's not true. But
Yeah.
a great cook can come from anywhere, including a gross rat creature.
I should have known that. Damn it. We really did watch that not that long ago too.
That's one of those ones that came out. I'm like, why in the hell do I want to watch a show about a rat cooking food in France? And it turned out to be one of my favorite ones ever.
They did a great job on it.
Oh yeah, it's
I
that's when
love
Pixar made good movies, and every one that they put out was an event to go see, be seen, and I'm
Yeah.
excited. And then, man, did it just now? It's like, oh, they did like four in a row. I have never seen, and I never will.
Yeah. I was kind of disappointed in the last we tried to watch I don't know if this is Pixar or not. I know it's Disney, but that uh Element or Elemental?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a Pixar.
Yeah, I honestly couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I
I tried.
they all look the same kind of. I mean, I'm sure they're trying, but
I don't know if they're trying that hard. Feel like they should get some better writing going or something. I don't know.
uh,
Someone saying this, I've never watched that one all the way through. I really liked that one, Ratatouille.
yeah, I didn't think that I would like it, but I ended up really like it because it was about food and they were talking about it. I'm like, "Ah, it's making me hungry. They're talking about all this food and these dishes, made them look appetizing."
And you wanted to eat that Ratatouille. You wanted to
Yeah,
taste what you were tasting.
never even heard of it before. And then I'm like, all right, the way they showed it, because I guess it's normally like a stew, like a soup, but they did a whole like, here's a new way to prepare it, the way that they did in the show, which I was watching the behind the scenes, and they had a chef come up with a different idea to like prepare it, and that's how they based what the rat did. I'm like, this is genius.
Yeah, it was. I didn't even know that about it. I knew that that wasn't traditionally how Ratatouille was prepared because I had seen it before, um, or I had heard of it before. A lot,
Yeah.
a lot of Chef Gordon Ramsay in my day, and but I was actually a kid. I think I was a teenager when Ratatouille came out, but I really liked it. I remember my sister going and seeing it in theaters because she was really big into cooking. She was so excited.
That movie has one of my favorite resolutions to the antagonist of any movie ever, because, again, it's not like it's a conflict. It's not about battling or anything like that. But he's this food critic who's trying to shut down this terrible, or what he perceives to be as this terrible restaurant. So he's kind of a dick about everything.
Yeah,
But he shows up and tells the rats, like, make me something different. Surprise me. Do something. I dare you. I dare you. So the rat's like, all right, I have this idea. So he makes that dish. And as soon as the guy takes a bite, do you remember how that scene goes? He takes a
he
bite and
like,
instantly fires
it,
him back to childhood.
yep, he like remembers like being like, didn't he get hurt on his bike or something?
Crashed on his bike and he was sad. And his mom
Yeah,
like got him, gave him a hug, sat him down with his favorite food, and he was all better. And it
yeah,
comes back, and like the all the bitterness in him just evaporates and he's happy. And I'm like, oh my God, that's beautiful. Like, it's so brilliant,
yep.
you
I do.
know? It's like, oh, he just wants comfort food that reminds him of his mommy. I'm like, ah, so brilliant, you know?
Yep, I remember that.
On for life on a dangling over a giant furnace is gonna burn them all to hell. And I'm like, oh my god, are they actually gonna die? Which I thought was a perfectly fine end to that Toy Story movie, but it's so unexpected to have that moment. That was the resolution.
Hey, that moment also in Toy Story 3,
Yep.
first moment, I cried.
Did you think they were really gonna get burned up?
I didn't know. I didn't know what they were gonna do. I kinda doubted it, but I didn't know.
But the moment where they're all hanging over the fire, is that the
Uh,
one that got you?
yeah, that's Toy Story 3, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, see, I saw that one in theaters because I was like, little kid, like 3 or 4 when the first one came out, and then when the second came out, I was, like, 10, and so when the third one came out, I was 19 or 20. So, I was, like, Andy's age
Yeah.
during a lot of these, and I kinda had grown up with it, and so I'm like, I'm gonna go see Toy Story 3. I don't care if I'm too old for this and I have no kids, like, I'm gonna go see it.
They're not for kids, they're for everybody. I think it's
Yeah.
I get your point though. I understand.
So I went and saw it and I was like tearing up hardcore in the that scene and when Andy gives
Yeah.
um
Gives us
what,
toys to the little girl.
yeah, yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. I wasn't like emotionally moved at the scene where they're hanging over the fire because I was like, oh, this is pretty intense. How are they gonna get out? But I'm like, there's no way in hell that they drop him into the fire and they all die. Now, if they would have done that, holy God, like they have some balls. But they're not gonna do that. But the other scene where Andy gives them up,
Yeah.
and the nerd in me is like, no, keep like you don't know how valuable the Woody doll is because he's worth a shit load of money. But again, that wasn't the point of it. He was like, it's time to move on and
Yeah.
let someone else have these who will appreciate them. And that part that got me.
Yeah. Yep, me too. It was really it was like it to me it symbolized a lot of like letting go of my childhood because I grew up watching Toy Story so much.
Yeah,
So I really struggled, but it was good.
yeah,
Again, back when they made movies that, in my opinion, really they wrote them well.
yeah. What'd you think of the fourth one?
Eh,
It's like there was nothing wrong with it, but it was like it just
it didn't feel like another installment to me. It felt like separate somehow.
yeah,
But I mean, I've seen it a gazillion times again because my kids love both. Well, my now 8-year-old, but he wasn't then.
yeah.
Loved it when it came out.
I thought the stunt toy, the what was his name? The
Duke Kaboom.
Duke Kaboom.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was, and that was Keanu Reeves, right?
Yep, I have a couple of Duke Kabooms in my house
Uh,
because he was a favorite among my children.
yeah, he was. That was a funny. That was like the best part of it, like the most interesting, funny, unique part of it. My boys were kind of scared of the there was the bad guy, whatever that character was, but then the like that big child doll that
Yeah,
be like a
the
thing.
Gabby has her like
Yeah,
yeah, those were intense. To be fair, I get why they were a little bit I'm not a doll person. I don't like dolls. Never have, even as a little girl. So, uh, yeah,
John.
Tangled was super good. Tangled was super good. Tangled by far has the best significant other or prince in it for sure.
Oh, really? I've only seen parts of it. It never like stood out to me, but I heard it's
Yeah. He's definitely the only one that has any real personality. I mean, I don't know. I guess you could say Kristoff from Frozen, but I wasn't a big Frozen fan, so
Oh. So John, my brother, he makes a good point here. He says the emotion from Toy Story 3, the emotion from the dangling over the fire was not that I thought that they were going to die, but that the toys thought they were going to die. When they
Yeah.
accepted what was going to happen, they just held each other's hands. And he's like, that made me cry. That's legit. That's a fair, like, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's true. That's true.
That's a completely valid. Now it's been so long since I saw it for that first time. I don't remember. I mean, I might have had that same thought, but the emotional part that stood out for me was Andy giving him up at the end. And I'm like, don't cry. I'm a grown ass man. Don't fucking. And then I'm like,
Okay, thank you. And my husband was laughing at me when I told him that I cried the first time I watched it, and a couple times after that I watched it again. And he was like laughing. I was like, "Why is that funny to you? I don't see anything funny. Sorry that you're not emotional about things that you should be."
you're like, you know what, honey? Fuck.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Michael Delafonte says, I had the original Optimus Prime, original Luke Skywalker, original Boba Fett with Sergeant Slaughter with his vehicle. What happened to them? I threw him in the garbage back in 2012. You son of a bitch.
That was a huge mistake.
You know that those toys came alive at night and just wish that you would play with them. And then when you picked them up and they're like secretly like, oh, he's holding me. He's gonna play Transformers, Sergeant Slaughter, Jedi's again. And like suddenly they're in a trash can.
Also, in 2012, you should have known those were worth something.
Yeah. Put them on
No
eBay.
offense,
Put them
but
on eBay or something and people will buy them.
yeah, those were. It wasn't. It was only like 11 years ago. We all kind of knew those were collectibles.
Yeah.
No passes on that one.
No.
I'm just
Jessica
kidding. I'm just kidding.
passed judgment. That's fair. He says, I reasoned if I can let go of that, I can let go of anything. I do get that. But for me, I would like, I can let go of them, but I can also, here's my mindset. Like, if I don't want them, okay, I'll get rid of them. But there's probably somebody out there who would love to have them. And why not let somebody else have them? And then if I can sell them, why not make a few bucks? I've got some of my old original Generation 1 Transformers that I could probably sell for a few bucks.
Hmm.
But I don't know. They just sit out in my storage shed outside. And
I got nothing worth anything.
Michael Delafonte says, no one else plays with my toys. They will get melted down.
Okay, okay, okay. We're gonna let this one go. We're gonna let this one go.
Right. Oh.
Oh my gosh. We know that if it had been a story about Michael, Toy Story, how it would have ended.
That would have been a whole other toy show. Oh my god. D Man says he stopped collecting toys 30 years ago. I mean, yeah, I get it. I don't collect many. I mean, on occasion I'll get a collectible here or there, but I have held on to several of the things I had when I was younger.
My little brother, my younger brother, he's not my little brother anymore because he's taller than me. Both my brothers are, but my younger brother, when he was a kid, he really got into NASCAR because my uncle was into it. And he collected die-cast NASCAR cars. He had like Dale Earnhardt. His favorite one was Dale Jarrett, and he just had a bunch of them, and he would hang them on his walls, and he had posters. He had some of the cars, like the rumble cars. He had some of them that were the bigger die-cast. And I guess, and I don't know if you know, do you know what Goodwill is?
Yeah, I mean, I do.
Okay. I don't know because they don't have them out here, I don't think, right? Do they?
Uh, it's in the same thing, kind of like the Mormon, the
It's
dead
just like PI, only
guy.
it's run by, I think, like they do so many donations to like military families and stuff. But that's what we had growing up in Indiana because there's no Mormons out there. And so he gathered up all these things when he had to move out of my parents' house, and he just gave them to Goodwill, and I was like, "You probably could have sold those
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a good chunk of money," especially the uh,
Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt, yeah, because he passed away.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It is interesting. He was like, I didn't really wanna deal with it. I figure someone will find find 'em and they can just buy them from there." I'm like, "Okay."
Mm, that's fair. You know that conversation about like the watching a show or something like that that got you emotional.
Uh-huh.
I'm curious, like what other things in scenes in movies or TV shows still get you to this day? For example, for me, um, like I've told you, I watch some of these videos where people like react to things on YouTube that they've never seen before, TV shows, whatever. And there's this one chick I watch who's watching Star Trek: The Next Generation for the first time. I'm like,
Oh,
oh, this would be fun because you know they're about to, and she's loving it. And she just got done with season one. Um, but I'm like, oh, she's gonna be just shocked at how goddamn good this show will become, and she's enjoying season one. Like, you don't know what's coming. But she just watched the episode where Tasha Yar died,
mhm.
and I'm like, I watched that, and I'm like, that still gets me because the ending with like the funeral that they do. I'm like, it was such a weird kind of thing where like here's this main cast member and she wanted off the show, but they did such a good episode. So I'm like, that just got me thinking, like, what else out there
That
can.
one was and it's weird for me because I don't know if I've ever watched that episode as an adult.
Oh, really?
So and I don't think I cried as a kid. So maybe I should go back and rewatch those.
You
And I've
should.
learned
But what's something that you watch even now, even if it's old and it still kind of gets you?
I'm trying to think. I'm sure there's like a ton of things, but I'm trying to think like,
I put you on the spot.
yeah, you did. I don't know. Um, ooh, I have to think about this. I mean, this is gonna be super cheesy, I know, but I always cry at the end of Titanic, but not where Jack dies. I always cry when they start playing. I believe they're playing, is it God Be With Me? Or
Yeah,
God Be With Me Till We Meet Again? That's what it is. And they show the old couple in
yeah,
their bed. I always start crying at that part.
yeah,
Always start
yeah.
crying at that
that,
part.
that had a pretty significant kick in the nuts, that's for sure.
Yeah, that just kills me.
Because this old couple, they're like, we can't get away. There's nothing we can do. So it's just,
Yeah, they just, hold each other and but in a weird way, I I would think, look, like your chances of survival is really low. They're probably, I don't know, depending on in their 70s, 80s, lived their life. Like at least they went down together, holding each other,
uh,
and they were not alone. I don't know it's a movie, but it
well,
always gets
still, no, it's got a real human element that you can relate with. Um, Daniel Goodwin says Tony Stark dying in Endgame. Don't at me. No, that one. I was a little prepared for it because I knew it was coming, but I felt it for sure.
I was in denial.
You're like,
That he
no.
did.
Uh, D Man says that one scene from Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Well, Will's dad doesn't want him.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
that was. I mean, I watched parts of that show. I've never seen that. I didn't watch it in real time, but I've seen the clip after the fact and the way that you know the acting was done and the whole emotional impact. Like for real, yeah, that was like, goddamn. He's like, why don't he want me? It's like, oh god, like this guy who always hides his emotions with humor and shit. He's really feeling it. I'm like, goddamn, you know.
That's the thing about that show, actually, I always noticed was Um, it was supposed to be kind of funny. You know, a lot of the time that was kind of it was kind of a comedy,
Oh,
but
yeah,
there
totally.
were a lot of scenes that were really deep in that show.
Oh, yeah, they had something to say, and they had things
Yeah,
to say. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. There was, like, one time when was it Carlton was trying to get in with this group, and everyone thought that he was kinda lame, but they wanted Will Smith, but they were making fun of him, and like, Will
Yeah.
Smith stood up for Carl, even though, like, they were like antagonists, but just like we might be antagonists, Will and Carlton, but he's like, but this is still my family, and don't you dare.
Yep.
Yeah, that was, yeah. Someone says, I always cry at the end of Titanic when she throws the diamond in the water. I mean, she could have fed a village with that thing. Yeah, it was.
True, true.
Have you seen the alternate version of that ending where instead of just the old lady just dropping it by herself, that the guy on the boat he comes and catches her before she does it?
I don't think I've seen that.
You haven't seen it? Oh my god, it's this whole other scene where she's standing on the edge of the back there and she's holding it out. And what's his name? Bill Paxton, whatever the character is. He comes on, he's like, "No, don't. Are you kidding? You've had it this whole time." And she basically, like, after them all hearing the emotional story, I'm trying to remember, does he drop it in? Like, he understands and lets it go himself?
Oh,
It's a whole other vibe, and he kinda starts laughing, like, "I get it. Boo." Um,
really? I'd have to look see this. I have never seen that
yeah,
before.
I think they chose the right one where she does it and she just lets it go, and
I'm not like the biggest Titanic fan, like, oh my gosh, but I obviously thought it was really good.
oh,
Uh,
yeah, I think it's good, I like it a lot.
but
It's
I like
pop.
some people know like all like the behind the scenes stuff and all that to it. But yeah, it always makes me cry.
D-Man says, "Don't get me started on the Fresh Prince reboot thing." I don't even know when was there a reboot on it? When was that? I don't know if I know about
It's
that.
called Bel Air, right? I don't think it's fully called Fresh Prince of Bel Air, or am I wrong? I have seen it. It is not good.
Who's in it? Who's it focus on?
He's like, I can't remember if he was related to Will Smith's character or what, but he moves in with the family. Maybe he's like a nephew or something. That's how much I paid attention. I watched probably half of the first season. Yeah, just Bel Air. That's what I thought. Yeah, it's just called Bel Air. And yeah, it wasn't like search it up, but it wasn't anything right. It wasn't even it doesn't even hold a candle to the original. And I know like I always say that about everything, but no, for real. Nobody thought it did.
Well, I don't even remember hearing about that.
But I think Will Smith helped write it, I believe. And he might have been in it. I can't remember. For like I don't think he was in there like regularly or anything, but excuse me.
Doot, 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 doot.
But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any others that like really got me emotionally.
I'm actually having a hard time thinking of some myself. I know there's several. I was thinking,
Okay, I actually have one that is super dumb. I always cry when Michael Scott leaves on The Office. When Pam hugs him goodbye at the airport.
yeah,
And I've seen it so many times.
he was the heart and soul of the show. Honestly, I mean,
Yep.
I don't.
I
The show did kind of still do okay, and I was still invested in the other characters, but like,
yeah.
nope, that's a good one.
The Green Miles. The Green Mile,
Yeah,
right?
Have you
Okay.
ever you've seen that?
I have seen it. It's been a while, but I have seen it. And I'm trying to think if I got emotional in it or not. I
Yeah.
don't.
Well, Michael Clark Duncan, and like the whole idea that he's this amazing being that has the ability. It's almost like godlike, like miracle abilities, like
Right.
like a creature sent from God, almost is the way that I kind of interpreted it. But they just can't get out of the situation where they have to kill him, like because he's on death row or whatever, and like they have to let him go. I'm like, God,
Yeah. True. That's true. I'd have to rewatch it again. I feel like I need to rewatch some of these things to see how I'll feel about it. Like, am I having tears? But yeah, that's true.
I love Forrest Gump. That movie has multiple parts that
Oh yeah.
get me.
Another one for me is Rain Man.
I've seen it, but it's been a long time. It's not a movie that I revisit very often.
It's one of my favorites, and I always cry like a baby every time. And then again, I'm like thinking, I'm like, no, I actually cry. Have several scenes in like Desperate Housewives. And every time I've seen it, I cry. So maybe I just cry a lot.
Oh, that's all right.
Like every time they show up to take Gabby's adopted child away, like I always cry from that show.
I've never seen any of it, so I couldn't say.
It's definitely, I say four chicks, but it's good. It's better than I feel like people give it credit for, especially now with how crappy any show is that's new on TV.
I'm really struggling because I know I'm an emotional guy, and there's shit that makes me boohoo. But I'm sitting here trying to think of more. I'm surprised I can't come up with some. I mean,
Yeah,
everyone's given good examples.
yeah, that is true. That is true. I probably have a bunch and I just can't think in this moment.
Yeah. Um, Historically inaccurate parts aside, Braveheart.
That one I've never seen all the way through.
Jessica.
I know. I know. It's Mel Gibson, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have not seen that one.
Another one of these, like at a certain point it becomes inevitable what the ending's gonna be. And you're like, God damn it. Somebody fast and furious this shit. Get some like cars in there and bust in and explode all over the place and get him out of there and let's get past this. But no.
Did the cameras get zoomed in? I don't know. My phone is running out of battery, so it probably keeps pausing it because I have to hit. Yes, I know my battery's running out. I feel like we're closer than normal. Here, let me see. Maybe I can get it to like a little bit further out there. I'm just doing the same crap I was doing last week, so it's like boring. I'm getting like a first coverage on this background. So it's a boring one. Um, oh, that new Napoleon movie.
Yeah, I heard that about that too, where D Man saying it's a bunch of Ridley Scott wank, which is unfortunate because I heard it's wildly inaccurate, and I'm like, God damn it! Like, doesn't this guy have an interesting enough life that we can make it at least somewhat historically accurate?
Yeah. That's got what's his bucket in it?
Joaquin.
Joaquin, yeah. Um, Speaking of Mel Gibson, have you ever seen Forever Young?
No.
Is that him? I think that's him.
I think that sounds right.
Um, that one is a tearjerker. That was the one where his fiance during like the 40s gets hit by a car and they don't think she's gonna make it. And his buddy has been asking him, well, they're doing like these scientific like testing on like sleep pods where they go to sleep for so much time and then they wake the people up. And so is he says, well, I want to go to sleep until she wakes up because she's in a coma in the hospital. So his buddy says he'll do it for him. So they put him to sleep, and unfortunately his buddy dies during that time, and nobody else knows that he's in there. And then he wakes up in like the early 90s. He gets awoken up, and it's got Frodo in it. What's his name? What's
um,
his name?
oh my God.
Why can't I remember his name?
Oh my God. We all know it.
Yeah, that's right. Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
Elijah Wood when he's a kid. And it has dude, I'm the worst right now of my memory. What's her name? She's from that's a young version of old Jamie Lee Curtis when she was younger. She's the mom.
Yeah, I've never seen that one. I heard it was good. Never heard anything bad about it. I never crossed my path.
It's really good. I'll tell you how it ends in case you ever decide to watch it.
They're saying, D Man saying the Napoleon and Bill and Ted movie is more accurate. That is so funny.
Oh
I
my
love
gosh.
the movie. Holy shit, that guy was great. Oh, especially when they take him to the water park, or he just kind of gets there and he's just having a great old time. So, especially the bowling scene, right, D Man? As a kid, when I saw that bowling scene, and he throws the ball out there and misses, and he's yelling in French, it's just shit, 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 shit. I laughed so hard I was crying, and my parents are like, "Why is that so funny to you?" I'm like, "What? What? Are you kidding me? It's the funniest thing I've ever seen." Oh God, it's so good. Now I want to watch. Now I want to watch that.
Old Bill and Ted.
I just thought of a movie that always got to me. It's a movie that I avoided forever because it looked like some stupid bullshit romantic chick flick horse shit that I did not want to watch. But then I watched it once. I'm like, okay, this is amazing. Legends of the Fall.
Mm, I've only seen that one time.
Oh my god, with Brad Pitt. It because I always thought at the time Brad Pitt was just like this pretty boy with long hair that the ladies just got all gushy over. But then I watched it, and it was not just this like it was like this epic historical tale of these horrible things that kept happening and the family trying to survive. And I'm like, all these terrible things happen. I'm like, holy crap. And that made me like, all right, Brad Pitt's pretty damn awesome. Like I am on board. I could stop anything if I just come across that movie. I'll just stop and just start watching it.
You know, only time I've seen that movie, David and I
Yep.
high watching it. That's the only time I've ever seen that movie. It would have been back when I worked with you, actually.
Right. And
But I do remember thinking it was really good.
you probably would have thought anything was good. You thought Killer Clowns from Outer Space While High was good.
I thought it was very intense, yes.
Daniel Goodwin says, "Love Legends of the Fall." D Man, Legends of the Fall is goated. I don't know if you guys can hear that in the background. I live right next to a military air base, and there's a bunch of jets taking off. And Jesus, are they loud?
I don't. I personally can't hear it.
Okay, all right. But yeah, that Legends of the Fall is like, god damn, is it? It's heartbreaking because life. It's just kind of like it's about like life will just kick you square in the nuts, and just the worst kind of shit can happen. Sometimes, no matter what you do, and
True.
you just got to deal with it. It was. Whew. But yeah, I avoided it because it just looked like this chick flick. I don't know. I had the way wrong impression of it, and I'm glad. So now it's one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, interesting to me because I've never thought of it like ever in that way as a chick flick.
Well, I
Even
just would see previews of it. I mean, every time I'd see a preview of it, it's where there's a scene where Brad Pitt's like standing in a field. He's got his long hair, and there's this golden sunlight behind him, and he like tips his hat to the girl, and like this water flicks off it or something like that. It's just like this. Oh, look at this beautiful man. He's making googly eyes at this girl. I'm like, ugh, you
you
know.
actually remembered that scene quite well.
Oh no, I 100% it burned it. That's why I was like, I don't want to see this because that's what I thought that it was just going to be some bullshit like that. So I was stupid. Um, but I was wrong. I fully acknowledge that I was in the wrong on that one.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Love Actually is a chick flick. I'm not sure about. I'm familiar, but I can't think of it.
I've never seen Love Actually, but it is definitely, from what I've heard, a chick flick.
Yeah, the guy's name was Tristan in Legends of the Fall, Brad Pitt's character, which is funny because I was really sweet on this girl in high school, and her name was Tristan. So that's one of those crossover names that could be boy or girl. But
Really? I don't think
I,
I've never heard it used, but that's kind of cool now that I'm hearing it.
which context have you ever heard it in, male or female?
Only male.
Oh, really? Yeah, I knew a girl in high school. That was her name. I was super sweet on her because she
Oh,
paid attention to me, and that's all it took. Like,
that's
girl's paying attention to me. She smiles at me and she talks to me. She must like me.
oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, that's actually a really cute name for a girl, and I've never thought of that before
Yeah.
myself. Yeah, that's what it seems like. I've never seen it because it kind of looked to me. I don't know if you guys ever like saw or know what like Valentine's Day and New Year's Eve, those movies where it just had every actor or a bunch of popular actors in it. And then all the stories kind of meshed up their lives, but it's, told some different stories about the different people. I don't know if that's one to anyway, they're not my favorite movies. So I always thought Love Actually looked like it was like that. So I never watched it.
Do, do, do.
Are you feeling pretty good about that figure now?
Yeah, kind of. I switched it up. I kind of had to redo the whole lower figure and deviated from the mimicking the exact positioning of the thing I'm cop
Yeah,
slash homaging, and I like it's a little bit better now.
that's good. Looks good to me. I mean,
Boom. trying to think of other movies that
Yeah.
got
So
me.
it's exactly like that LOL. You're watching like five different stories that overlap. Yeah, that's not my style. I don't know. I don't really like movies like that. That's just me.
Is there a movie out there that you would consider your favorite? Like, can you nail it down to one? Because I can't. But if you're like, my most favorite movie ever is this.
I don't think I can. I have movies that I come back to a lot. But I don't know if I have movies that um cuz like growing up my favorite movie was Star Wars. Like that just the whole original trilogy were my favorites.
Yeah.
And so for me like that has a lot of like I kind of always say, "Oh, I let Star Wars one of my favorite movies," but I don't know like now that's my favorite, you know. Um I really like Secret Window.
Is that a Johnny Depp?
It is Johnny Depp. It's Johnny Depp, Stephen King.
Nice.
It's actually one of Stephen King's short stories, not one of his novels. They made it into a movie, and I always love watching that one. I feel like the acting is really well done.
I've seen it once because the ex-wife liked it and she owned a copy of it. It's like one of the only movies she ever owned. I come on like when her and I got together, I owned like a mountain of DVDs and she had like one and that was it.
Wow.
I was like, all right, well, let's watch this. And I'm like, oh, it's all right. It was fine. I didn't dislike it. I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, it's a good watch. I watch it every year around Halloween. It's on my list. I also really like another one that I would say is definitely up there is Edward Scissorhands.
Oh yeah.
I think that one is at least top five for me.
Oh really? That high, huh? Like
Yeah.
what about it connects with you so strongly?
Um, I I like Tim Burton's style. Like I think, you know, I like Nightmare Before Christmas and I like all, his other ones that he did, like his stop motion ones.
Yeah.
But I just really like the uniqueness of the story. Like there's not another fucking story in the world like Edward Scissorhands. You know what I mean? Like it's just so off the wall and I think I the movie itself was really well done on how like the town is, the just the whole environment of it. I think the acting was good, the story was good.
Well, it took
So
me a long time to realize it was more of like this is like a fairy tale, like a storybook thing. It's so not based in reality, but it has some reality themes that resonate with people.
right, it really is. It's just a bizarre tale. Like it really is.
Yeah. Well, it's like the boring suburban life is amped up to be so ridiculous. Like all these houses look exactly the same with these ridiculous pastel colors, and everyone follows the same routine day after day. The husbands get up, they all drive away at the same time, all the ladies do the same thing, and then here comes the weird outsider loner on a castle that lives just up in this hill that like what the hell is this, it's as a kid I didn't really pay attention to it. When I got older I'm like this is so weird, but then I had to realize it's like a fairy tale. It's not real, but it's talking about somebody who is an outsider and just doesn't fit in with the norm and people
Yep.
don't understand them. I'm like, "Oh, okay. Now I
Which
get it."
I think is how Tim Burton sees himself
Yeah.
or did
Yeah.
see him.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I you're right. You're exactly right. That's exactly what it is. And she's even telling the story to her, I guess it's her grandchild.
Right.
And it's a good one. I like it a lot.
Great music in it.
Oh yeah. And no and even though after everything he does for the town, it's kind of a little Beauty and the Beast like. But even like after everything he did for them, when there's, that confusion and he accidentally cuts her,
Yeah.
uh and all that happens, and the town just immediately turns against him again, even though
Yep.
they've been getting to know him and they know, it's just in it. I don't know. It's very. I like it a lot,
Yep. You're right.
but
I,
I don't know if I have a favorite movie. I just don't think I do. And then, like I said, I could. All right, another one. I must like really like Johnny Depp movies. I really like Blow, too.
I've
Uh,
seen that.
huh? What'd you say?
I've never seen that movie.
It's a good one. It's based on a true story. An actual uh big time uh I guess you would call him a drug dealer. Um but it's again like the rise and the fall. It's an interesting story and it's all true. So I just think it's again well done. Acting's really good in it. You're wanting to know what's going to happen, and even though he's kind of the bad guy because he's doing all this illegal stuff, you still feel for him because of where he came from. And
Right.
Mark says, reading the chat log, I see I miss the requisited Lightfeld rant. LOL.
Yep. The requisite Liefeld rant.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to read from afar across the room here.
Yeah. It always seems to come up, doesn't it? I mean, but I am doing a drawing kind of based on one of his covers. So, oh, D man, that's a great quote, dude. That is hilarious. In Hollywood, you either die normal or you live long enough to see yourself become a weirdo. Oh, great.
That's true. I'm sure that is 100% true.
Yeah, I couldn't nail it down to like one movie for sure. I could probably give a top five,
Yeah.
top 10, but I know some people like this is the best movie. This is my favorite flick ever of all time. I'm like, all right, and I'm one of those guys that like lumps, for example, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. They're all together. They're all one thing, you know.
Hmm.
And I'm just super into those. I love those. So, it's three movies, but to me, it's just one big story. And that would be in my top 10 for sure. Probably top five, almost definitely.
Lord of the Rings is good. I read those books when I was 13 and read The Hobbit when I was probably just a little bit older than that, but I wasn't allowed to watch the movies as a kid.
Why not?
My parents were super strict about movies, and they thought they were too violent. So I never saw them, but I could read the books. So once I got old enough, I was super stoked because I really liked the books. And they lived up to the hype for sure.
Yeah. Hey, Mark. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. He likes the foreshortening on the dude's right leg. I mean, I'm kind of ripping off a Liefeld drawing again here. Mark's saying that Lord of the Rings is a hard read for a 13-year-old, and that's impressive. Now, I've never read them, so I don't know. I mean, did you feel like that they were challenging to read, or were you like into it?
Yeah, they're definitely challenging. To be honest, I was homeschooled with nothing to do all summer. So I had the time to work my way through them. But yeah, they're challenging. He doesn't, he doesn't write in the way that I think most of us are used to reading, you know, books. But yeah, my grandfather let me borrow his set, and I still have it to this day. And That's what I ended up I have read them probably 3 times.
And I've never read them once, so I'm kind of the loser of the group. Can anybody still hear me? I think Jessica might have frozen up here. Or I bet her phone died, is what happened. Anyway, if you want to waste an hour and a half of your life watching Vivarium, never even heard of that. Mr. J Ultra, yet you couldn't get back into your old account, so you are J deep. All right, well, I'm glad you're there, Mr. J. Hot Tub Time Machine is like a raunchy version of Quantum Leap. I mean, that's another one that I've heard nothing but good things about, but I've never seen. But yeah, I think Jessica's phone died. You can hear me and the jets. Yeah, I'm kind of like, people have got to hear these jets in the background because goddamn they're loud. But they take off in squadrons and should be gone. Yeah, Jessica's like, yeah, my phone just died. That's what we were saying. Or that's what I was saying. So, Jess, does that mean you're done? All right, she's done. She's had enough. Well, maybe we'll get back again on Thursday like usual. Yeah, for anybody who's watching, and I'm doing again, I know it's hypocritical of me, but it's just kind of fun to take these old layouts that Liefeld would do and do a kind of a version of it just for fun. But that's what I'm doing here. But that's where I got the basic composition from. All right, Jess, I'll catch you on Thursdays. Yeah, Domowitz, you're saying that's the thing, that he was good at composition, like he was. That's the thing. And he had. It's another one of the things I think that he used to do well and no longer does. Composition, he used to do really well. Now it's just the same thing over and over and over. He doesn't try. But back in the day, at the height of his popularity, Yeah, I agree with you. Um, yeah, I mean they were good, but then he just got worse, and then he just became what he is today. I think I might jump off here too, everybody. Appreciate everyone that stops in, as always. Appreciate it very much. These are always fun. But I got to handle some stuff. I might as well just do it now. So I'm going to take off as well. Finish my old one. And I finished my inking demo piece in case anybody was wondering about that one. But yeah, thanks everybody. Appreciate it.